Knowing that I'm more at risk of COVID just because of the colour of my skin, it's a lot to deal with emotionally.
My name is Stephanie. I'm a biomedical scientist and I'm about to have my first child during the pandemic.
I'm Aliano, I'm a musician from North London.
My name is Simon. I work at St. Thomas's Hospital.
So I think for us, COVID-19 has really shone a light on the long-standing inequalities that have been experienced by Black and brown people. You can't think about COVID-19 without considering Black Lives Matter. And all of these statistics are likely to have a negative impact on people's mental well-being.
When I heard the reports of being more at risk to COVID, it was a whole bunch of confusion in the air and added more pressure and anxiety to what was already a heavy time. I felt like when I went to the protest, I had to choose between public health safety and fighting for basic rights of my people. And that's where the real sense of emotion came from, that conflict of mixed emotions. The older you are, as though you're more at risk, so you're having to adjust to making life decisions for the responsibilities of your grandparents and for your race and for yourself as well. And it's like, well this is a lot.
Seeing the protests online, it made me feel disappointed because I couldn't attend. During this pandemic, I have 2 risk factors, being pregnant and being Black. Lots of questions were coming in my head as to why, how is this the case?
The reasons why people from Black, Asian and minority ethnic communities are disproportionately impacted is quite complex. And there have been a number of suggestions that have been put forward. So one being socio-demographic characteristics. But what we also see is that once you adjusted for socio-demographic factors, that inequality or the inequity still remains. There have been some biological explanations put forward, such as vitamin D, but I think we have to be very cautious when we just focus on kind of biological explanations, because I think it's often easier for the system to focus on there being an issue with the individual or the community, when actually structural racism has been probably the one thing that the system has never really paid any attention to. And I think without paying attention to our racialised experience, it means that any intervention that we develop or course of action will be inadequate.
It's just a lot of feelings of anxiety, definitely, as I didn't know what to do, how to protect myself and protect my child. It really has had its challenges.
The lockdown experience, I don't even know where to start. So much has happened. I feel like time's just flown by. Early March, my dad actually ended up getting corona. He's a nurse. He was bedbound for about 3 weeks. It was a roller coaster journey. We found him on the floor in the middle of the night, dripping in sweat. Me and mum helped him up, got him back to the bed. And that's when I think me and my mum just had a mental breakdown. Like, it came across my mind, like, wow, like I might actually lose my dad or he might die. Didn't know what to expect, didn't know who to blame, didn't know what to do, just felt alone. But luckily, my dad pulled through and he's still alive, he's still well, he's back to work. I know a lot of people suffered a lot more, they lost their loved ones, but what I went through, I wish that on no one whatsoever.
When we're thinking about the kind of context of COVID beyond, as well as thinking about the potential second wave, it's really important for us as a community to be better at talking about the impact that this is having on us, and to share our anxieties and our concerns with one another so that we can provide that support.
So the steps that I've been taking to stay positive during this pandemic would be having weekly phone conversations with my friends where we get together on FaceTime.
I guess I've just been riding my bike whenever it gets a bit too much, just get out of my house, get some fresh air.
I made a group chat with people that I met at the protest and people that I already knew. And that was so important for us to show our solidarity together behind the scenes. It's not just about getting through BLM or getting through COVID, it's about anything else that we have to face, being black or being brown, coming from these minority communities.
There really is a call to action. This is an opportune time for us to take the lead in finding the solution. What is it that you can do to make a positive change for people in your network, people in your community? So I would say, volunteer, get involved in political life, see how you can support other people. What that does is it gives us a sense of purpose, and that in itself will have positive impacts on our mental well-being.